Coming up this morning on Daybreak, crews battle a fire at a pastry restaurant in Nixa last night.
And part 2 of our series on infertility, the story of a local woman battling endometriosis.
And we track what overnight severe weather has left behind in the Ozarks coming up this morning for you here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us. It's Tuesday, August 27th. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. Not sure if you heard those storms or not. I woke up pretty early from wind and rain and everything else last night.
Yep, 11 o'clock, midnight. It's about what time I think they woke me up, so we're probably not alone.
About 10:30 or so, yeah, it really came through. And meteorologist Elisa Raff has been tracking that for us this morning over the last several hours, really. How do we look at the moment? Are we going to be all right?
Yeah, the good news is just as of about 30 minutes ago, we are all clear of the severe thunderstorm watch. So the threat is over for damaging winds and all of that. A couple of showers are still exiting, but we're done.
Still a lot to go through, though, this morning with power outages and things that has left behind, though.
Yeah, some of that cleanup. But again, that threat is over right now. No more severe thunderstorm watches for the Ozarks. They were in effect multiple times yesterday, so that's at least good news there. Here's a look at the radar. Just a couple of showers lingering to the south and east. We do have one flash flood warning that continues until 9:15 for Howell and Oregon County, where a good 2 inches of rain came down very quickly. Some flash flooding over in West Plains overnight, so there could be some standing water there. Otherwise, just some showers around Mountain View and Melbourne in north central Arkansas. Not even much lightning in those. Those showers have really come down in intensity. We're looking at a temperature of 70 degrees right now in Springfield, 69 in Rolla, and 68 in West Plains. We're trying to dry out the air. This muggy meter map will get better as we head through the day today. So just be careful for residual flooding this morning. Roads are probably still wet. Otherwise, smooth sailing the rest of the day. We'll have decreasing clouds. Things mostly sunny by dismissal and cool. 81 degrees, much below average and less humid. We're tracking some storm reports for you coming up in 10 minutes.
Heavy rain overnight may have knocked power out at some homes across the Ozarks. The Association of Missouri Electric Cooperatives shows about 1,500 people throughout the state without power. Most of the outages in our viewing area are in Texas, Howell, and McDonald counties.
And in North Arkansas, about 750 customers are still without power there. Outages have significantly decreased since midnight, and flooding could also be a major concern today. Our Hannah Zettel shows us current problem areas.
Well, that's right, Lauren and Joe. For now, the roads are looking good in the Springfield metro, but if you head to the northeast, there are a few flooded roadways. In Dallas County, Route B is closed in both directions due to flooding over Jones Creek. Route B is also closed between Long Lane and Route K, just south of the Neangua River. And directly to our east, Route AB in Wright County was closed for road improvements, but has also been shut down east and westbound from that flooding. I'll keep you posted on storm impacts all morning.
All right, Hannah Zettel, thank you. Making news now. Fire crews in Nixa battled flames at a pastry eatery last night. The Nixa Fire Department responded to Lola's just before 8:30. That's off Highway 14 and Highway 160. Right now, officials don't know how the fire started and are still investigating. When crews arrived, flames were shooting through the roof near the kitchen. Assistant Fire Chief Whitney Weaver says the damage to the building was substantial.
It's probably 100% loss due to the water and smoke throughout. It had a lot of fire damage through the attic area that just all kind of came down.
Weaver adds no one was inside the building at the time of the fire and no one was injured while putting it out.
An ongoing trial on Missouri's voter ID law is expected to be decided soon. The trial began last week. Multiple organizations say Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft did not provide enough money to properly educate voters of the changes of Missouri's voter ID law. Attorneys for the state say Ashcroft's 18-month informational campaign easily surpasses the minimum requirement of education. Joan Gentry with the League of Women Voters of Missouri, though, says the league doesn't believe he met their expectations.
Did not educate people enough and did not provide the amount of funding necessary to do a quality kind of education. Their definition of more than adequately is probably different than ours.
Gentry said a decision was supposed to be made last Friday, but that hasn't happened. Secretary Ashcroft's office says it will not be commenting on the trial until a decision is made.
In your political news, the fate of a new abortion law in Missouri that would ban abortions after 8 weeks of pregnancy could soon be determined. Representatives of Planned Parenthood and the ACLU appeared in court yesterday for a temporary restraining order to argue to keep the law from taking effect.
I'm grateful for the court listening to our arguments today, and Planned Parenthood will stand with those individuals no matter what happens in this ruling.
U.S. District Judge Howard Sachs will issue a ruling on the law today. The judge told attorneys he already had the draft written before the hearing. It's unclear if the judge will change his draft after attending, though.
It's really unfortunate that the courts have been asked again to step in to protect Missourians' rights to bodily autonomy. Well, I truly believe that abortion should be a decision between a patient and their physician. Abortion is health care, and if the healthcare organizations and physicians can't stand in support of that, I'm not sure who should.
Now, if the restraining order is denied, the law will take effect tomorrow. It would also ban abortions based solely on race, sex, or a diagnosis that shows the potential for Down syndrome.
Missouri's Attorney General is taking a side in a legal fight regarding discrimination in the LGBTQ community. Attorney General Schmidt signed with other GOP attorneys general a U.S. Supreme Court brief saying that federal law does not protect LGBTQ people from discrimination. They say that when the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, sex discrimination did not include transgender people. The brief does not say whether Congress should change that. Schmidt says everyone should be treated with dignity under the law, though, and the cases are scheduled to be heard by the Supreme Court in October.
Keeping crime in focus, a suspect has been charged in a Springfield homicide from last week. The news leader reports that a 15-year-old suspect was charged yesterday in the stabbing death of 43-year-old Craig Dorser. Few details have been released about what happened. Police have said Dorser was stabbed during a disturbance on West Walnut last Wednesday. The suspect was arrested the same night. A hearing is scheduled for today.
This morning, we continue a Color 10 investigation for you. Endometriosis is one of the leading causes of infertility. It's a female reproductive condition that actually impacts about 7 million women in the U.S.
And due to the range in symptoms, it could take years to get the right diagnosis. Often, women don't know they have it until they try to start a family. That was the case for one Springfield woman. Our Heather Lewis has her story.
When my husband and I got married, building a family was definitely in our future, and that's one of the things that really helped connect us.
After more than a year of trying to get pregnant, Ashley Cousins and her husband Derek knew something wasn't right.
In my experience, 3 weeks out of the 4 in the month, I was not feeling well at all.
Her doctor suspected something too. Ashley was referred to a reproductive endocrinologist in St. Louis, where she received a diagnosis of endometriosis. One of the most common symptoms is severe pain during a menstrual cycle.
Endometriosis is when the cells that are normally on the inside of the uterus, the lining, somehow escapes the uterus, and it begins to grow implants on and around the other organs of the body, on the abdominal wall. It does also create scar tissue and adhesions, which can distort pelvic anatomy. There's a lot that's unknown about endometriosis and how exactly it prevents fertility.
Researchers are also still working to understand how the process happens.
As far as treatment goes, there is no cure.
But there is a way to reduce the symptoms. Ashley has now undergone 3 surgeries to do so and to prep her body for in vitro fertilization.
We did pursue the course of IVF. Reason being is because, I was ovulating every month. My hormone levels checked out perfectly. There's no clear signs of anatomy distortion to the point where it wouldn't support a pregnancy.
According to Dr. Mary Duff with the Farrell Duncan Clinic in Springfield, every couple is different.
The goal is not to jump straight to in vitro, and so each couple really needs to be evaluated.
That's a process you can start at home.
And things you need to be paying attention to are your menstrual cycles regular, and you can easily purchase and take an ovulation predictor kit over the counter to make sure that you are ovulating when you think you're ovulating.
In Ashley's case, after being diagnosed with endometriosis, her doctor recommended IVF.
When I heard my reproductive endocrinologist say we should move forward to IVF, my heart sank. I had heard stories of them, the cycles costing thousands of dollars and people just choosing to go a different path. And that's what I was prepared to do.
Women we spoke with say in vitro fertilization costs them thousands of dollars, especially when you add up the cost of medications, traveling to specialists, and lost wages. A bright side, Ashley's insurance covered it. She's undergone 2 IVF cycles so far, but neither was successful.
I wouldn't have done IVF cycles, much less 2 of them, if we didn't have the type of coverage that we did have.
Arkansas is one of 15 states that has passed a law mandating coverage for infertility. But there are loopholes that exempt self-insured companies from providing the benefit. In Missouri, fertility coverage is not mandated, so employers determine if they want to provide that coverage.
A lot of people take out second mortgages. I pulled a 401k loan to pay for some of these things. Although the IVF cycles that we've had have not been successful in the sense of bringing home a child, I have found them to be successful in the sense that I've learned a lot about my body. I've built strong networks with healthcare providers around the state, and I have found a sense of identity that is aside from infertility and becoming a parent.
In Springfield, Heather Lewis, Ozarks First.
Ashley says she plans to go back to IVF again later this year, using what she's learned to hopefully improve her chances. Ashley also helps lead an infertility support group. That's how she met Amanda. And coming up tomorrow, you'll hear about her journey of embryo adoption. Just getting started for you this morning, though. Still up on Daybreak, it is Pumpkin Spice Kickoff Day.
Wow, and it's
America.
August. Plus, Elisa is back to take us through what happened in the Ozarks last night, along with what to expect today.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.